Assassin's Creed Odyssey is undoubtedly one of the most polarizing entries in the series, with opinions that are completely split down the middle. On the one hand, you have fans that love the game for its vibrant world, compelling characters and overall Greek setting, and on the other hand, you have those who criticize it for its deviation from the traditional Assassin's Creed formula. One of the most significant reasons behind the split opinions is the game's setting. Odyssey takes place during ancient Greece, which we know was 400 years before the events of Origins and also before the creation of the actual assassins or hidden ones. As such, some people believe that the game shouldn't even be called an Assassin's Creed title, and on the other hand, there's those that argue that the franchise has always been about exploring different historical periods, and that the Assassin's Creed name shouldn't limit it. I, for one, agree with this perspective. While Odyssey may deviate from the traditional formula in some ways, it still retains many of the series' defining features, such as the iconic hidden blade, parkour-style movement, and a focus on history and culture. I fall firmly into the camp of those who love Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The game's setting in ancient Greece was a welcome change of pace, and its vibrant world and detailed characters kept me engaged from beginning to end. That's why in this video I will take a dive into Assassin's Creed Odyssey in 2023 and why I enjoy almost everything about it. Notice that I said almost everything. Anyway, be sure to subscribe and just hit that like button. It'll let me know if you actually enjoy my videos. And with that being said, let's proceed. Let's talk about one of the most visually stunning settings in Assassin's Creed, and that is Odyssey. I mean, have you seen the world in this game? It's absolutely breathtaking. From the moment that you set foot in ancient Greece, you're transported into a world that's full of vibrant colours, picturesque landscapes and awe-inspiring architecture. As you traverse the world, you'll encounter ancient cities, vast seas and sprawling forests. If I had to compliment one thing that Ubisoft did right with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it's definitely its historical accuracy. They didn't just throw togas and sandals on everyone and call it a day. Oh no, these guys went all in on recreating ancient Greece in painstaking detail. I mean, they even got the language right.
Malaka.
Malaka. Malaka. Malaka.
Malaka.
Okay, maybe almost right. Let me just talk about the cities in this game. If you're a history buff or just a lover of beautiful architecture, you're in for a treat. Athens, Sparta and all the other cities are like time capsules that have been perfectly preserved. The streets are teeming with life, from merchants selling their wares to soldiers marching in formation. But what really sets these cities apart is its attention to detail. You can see the influence of ancient Greece on modern architecture and culture, and it's fascinating to explore. Plus, if you're anything like me, you'll spend way too much time trying to climb up every building and statue in sight, just trying to get a beautiful view of the landscape. And let's not forget about the colours. If you're used to playing dull brand games where everything looks the same, Valhalla, Odyssey definitely blew my mind. The vibrant blues, greens and golds of ancient Greece are on full display. It's like being in a world that's made entirely of Instagram filters. One of the most striking aspects of Assassin's Creed Odyssey's setting is the vast open ocean that surrounds the Greek islands. The developers have truly outdone themselves in creating a stunning realistic sea that's a wonder to behold. Oh, and if you have a phobia of the deep ocean, which I believe is called thalassophobia, I would totally not recommend diving down into the ocean because it can go pretty deep. I mean, look at this. What you're seeing on the screen is not a glitch. It's just the abyss of the deep water. Anyway, I'm sorry to scare you deep water phobia people. The sea itself is teeming with life, from dolphins and even sometimes whales that would swim alongside your ship to schools of fish darting in and out of the water. And let's not forget about the infamous sharks that lurk beneath the waves, waiting to attack any unwary sailors. I remember when I first played through Odyssey and I went underwater, I almost shit myself when I seen a shark in the distance that was swimming closer to me at rapid speeds. It was almost like I could hear the Jaws theme song playing in my head, getting louder and louder. Now, Odyssey features a plethora of islands that are all waiting to be explored. Each of these islands has its own unique story and character, and some of them are just as large in detail as the mainland. Whether it's the volcanic island of Thera or the sun-kissed beaches of Mykonos, there was always something new to discover. But, getting to these islands was a challenge, and that's where our ship comes in, the Adrestia, our trusty vessel. This was the key to exploring the seas and reaching these islands. One of the most entertaining aspects of sailing the high seas is the crew's singing. As you make your way across the ocean, your crew will break out into song, filling the air with their harmonious voices. It's a small touch, but it adds a lot to the overall atmosphere of the game, and it kind of makes those long ass ship journeys slightly more entertaining. Now, I'll be honest here, the story in Odyssey is probably the only flaw that this game has. It's a good story at best, but there's also some uninteresting parts to it. We finally have the option to play as either Alexios or Kassandra. As for me, I chose Kassandra in my first playthrough, and I was immediately drawn to her character. She's a complex and interesting protagonist, full of youthful ambition, energy and frustration. When we first meet our main protagonist, she's living on a remote island with her disreputable guardian who is always trying to get rich quick. Despite his flaws, he's kind and warm, and has raised Kassandra since her childhood abandonment, but his recklessness often leads him into trouble sometimes, such as when we have to deal with the local loan shark by kicking some serious ass. After saving the life of a ship's captain, Kassandra embarks on a journey to find her real parents. Regardless of whether you choose Kassandra or Alexios as your protagonist, Assassin's Creed Odyssey presents a heartfelt story of reuniting a family. However, the game tries to cram in too much by having Kassandra or Alexios interact with every big name in Greece, resulting in a disjointed and confusing narrative. There's little time to truly connect with the characters, and some transitions feel flimsy. While it's still an enjoyable tale, it's not quite on the level of a game such as The Witcher 3 or Red Dead Redemption 2. On the bright side, having agency in the story makes me more invested in the protagonist's journey, despite certain revelations leaving me a bit puzzled or eye-rolling. But be warned, Odyssey's story has some stiff level gaps that require completion of side quests and other activities. Personally, I didn't really mind as they were all fun, but for those who just want to focus on the main story, it may be a bit annoying. The Cult of Cosmos, the lovely group of individuals who just couldn't resist tearing apart my family. These guys are the reason why we spent countless hours hunting them down across the vast expanse world of ancient Greece. But you know what, as frustrating as it was also one of the best parts of the game for me. Now, who are these cultists? Well, let me tell you. These guys are the masterminds behind a grand conspiracy that stretches throughout the entire Greek world. Think of the Illuminati, but with less triangles and more togas. These guys are hidden, they're ruthless, and they're very good at covering their tracks. So as a player, it's up to us to uncover their identities and bring them to justice. But this wasn't an easy task. These cultists are spread out all over the map, and they don't exactly go around wearing name tags. No, you have to work for it. You have to search high and low, talk to people, steal letters and piece together clues until you finally uncover their identities. But that's not all. Once you know who they are, you have to take them down. And let me tell you, these cultists don't exactly go down without a fight. Some of them are hiding out in heavily fortified forts, surrounded by guards who are more than happy to stab you in the back. Others are lurking in the shadows, waiting for you to let down your guard so they can strike. And some are just crazy, like the one that was hiding in a bear den. Do you know how hard it was to take down a cultist while avoiding being mauled by a bear? It's not exactly a walk in the park, but you know what, it's all worth it in the end. Taking down these cultists is not only satisfying, but it also uncovers more of the game's story. You start to see just how deep this conspiracy goes and how far-reaching its influence is. Have you ever played a game where you felt like you could take on anything in the game? That's exactly how I felt playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, especially when it comes to taking on the mercenaries. As you journey through ancient Greece, you'll come across a whole host of mercenaries who want to take you down. But unlike other games where the enemies are just faceless drones, each one of these mercenaries has their own name, backstory and even special abilities. The best part, you get to take them down in any way you want. You can use stealth to sneak up on them, or you can go in guns blazing and take them out in a full-on brawl, and sometimes you can even recruit them to your crew. If you manage to piss off the wrong person, you'll find yourself with a bounty on your head, and that's when the mercenaries come for you. It's not gonna be easy. The mercenaries are like Origin's Phylakes, but with a twist. Instead of just being powerful enemies that are sent after you by the Pharaoh, the ones in Odyssey are independent contractors who will come after you if you cause enough trouble. And when they do come, they come in force. As you work your way up the bounty ladder, you'll face tougher and tougher mercenaries, each with their own unique abilities and gear. But if you manage to take them down, you'll be rewarded with their gear and the option to recruit them to your crew. I love the fact that these mercenaries were not just mindless enemies. Each one had their own backstory and motivations for hunting you down. Some were former soldiers who had fallen on hard times, while others were just looking for a good fight. And as you progress through the game, you'll find yourself facing off against some truly powerful mercenaries who will test your skills to the limit. But the mercenaries aren't just there to provide a challenge, they're also a great way to level up your character and your ship. As you defeat more and more mercenaries, you'll gain access to special abilities. After spending countless hours exploring the vast world of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I can confidently say that it's one of the best entries in the series. While I do understand the hate it gets, I do believe that people should just focus on the game and not the name. Yes, if this game was just called Odyssey, people would class it as a masterpiece, and that's exactly why people overlook this game. Many people cannot handle change, which is disappointing. Odyssey offers a truly immersive experience that will keep you hooked for hours on end. In fact, I often come back to the game just to immerse myself in the world. It's one of those games that actually has replayable value. You could spend over 100 hours on your very first playthrough and still miss out on a large amount of side quests and exploration. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video and would like to see more, just hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.